What's up, YouTube? Sean the Average Angler. Sorry I'm a little late getting this one out. Our office sessions have been interrupted by work. So anyway, I still have to do a job. I don't have many subscribers and I'm not making any money on this. So I do this because I enjoy it. It's fun and I'm trying to share my experience and what little knowledge this bald brain of mine has with the rest of you. So hopefully we can all catch some more fish. So today we are going to talk about a very interesting bait, the poop style baits. In this case, this one, the heavy poop, made by Fish Arrow, and then the one we all know about, the Depths Cover Scat. As far as the size, you can see 3.5 inch. It's the only size I have. The heavy poop is a 3.6 inch. They're pretty similar. Here's the difference. You can see the heavy poop kind of has these claws built in, and they're together. They're stuck together there. Looks like you could cut that slit and have them be a little free. I don't know how much action they would have in the water, but I would imagine they'd do something a little side to side. That might be interesting to try, actually. I have not fished the heavy poop near as much as I've fished the cover scat. This is a really cool color right here. I don't know if it is green pumpkin blue laminate. It kind of reminds me of a sprayed grass, sort of, okay, where the most of it's green pumpkin. There's some blue flake in the top, and it's pretty much contained up at the top half. So pretty cool looking bait. This one and then the green pumpkin are my two favorite colors. Are green pumpkin with blue. This one is just a basic green pumpkin with some blue flake in it. It looks way lighter on the video than what it looks like to me here, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway, there is a ton of ways to fish these. First, let's go over how I rig it. This is a 4/0 EWG, and I'm not going to tell you to use, you got to use a 4/0, you got to use a 5/0. This is what I will tell you. Take the hook brand of your choice. This is a 6 cents. I subscribe to their fat sack. This is a 6 cents 4/0. My thing is, I'm going to bring the hook eye all the way into the back here, okay? There's a slot there. I pull it all the way in, and then I'm looking at the nub on the back here where I want my hook point to go in. So I'll take the hook, I'll hold it up there and go, all right, yep, that's the right size. Then it's really just about your typical Texas rig style, right? Run it through there, turn that baby around, pull it through, and I'll tell you in a second why I like to pull it all the way through. Hold it up, and the hook point is in this little nub on the top there, okay? So the reason I like to pull it through, you can see it's right there. So when the fish bites it, I want that to slide up away, okay? That way I don't go through a ton of these. Now, if I'm in a tournament, I don't really care necessarily if I go through one every fish, as long as I'm getting bit, and preferably good quality fish. So there's videos online about how to fish these, that kind of stuff. I'm going to cover 3, okay, that I like to do that might be a little bit different. And the reason why is because I discovered these are very effective for me, and perhaps not a lot of people are doing it. The first one, let's talk about the bank angler, okay, because I don't know about you guys, but I do have a boat, but I still go out and like to walk the bank at times. especially near home when I might have limited time to fish. My glasses are filthy. So walking the bank, I like to get on rocky areas. I'm talking rocky stuff like your average bank angler guy is going to get frustrated fishing it with a drop shot, a jig, or a Texas rig because he's going to hang up and he's going to break shit off. This bait, one, it casts like a bullet because it looks like a turd. And two, it doesn't hang up. It's really easy if it binds to just kind of snap your line, pull it back, snap it, and it'll make that bait jump up and out of the rock. And then my experience watching these in water is that they tend to more spiral, or maybe it's that they spiral when they're on slack line, which is my next advice here. When you cast these, I've seen other videos, I've watched, guys say these sink really slow. No, they don't. These things sink really fast if you do it right. And I'm saying do it right because I think they sink really fast. Okay, I'll fish these in 20, 25 foot of water, and it does not take them long to get down to the bottom, especially when you consider it's a weightless bait. So what I do, and I'm typically throwing this on 15 to 20 pound test from the bank. I cast it out there as far as I can throw it. And let me tell you, it goes a long ways. And I don't close or engage the reel when it hits the water. I let it fall on slack line. I watch my spool, let it pull line until it stops pulling line. That means it's on the bottom. I'll engage the reel, let it sit for a little second longer, and then slowly take up the line until I catch up to the bait. And I can feel the weight of that bait dragging on the bottom. And then it's just about working it uphill. And you can work it uphill however you want. You can do a pop with your rod tip up so that it'll pull the bait up, and then it'll kind of spiral or glide back down. Vary your retrieve to try and figure out what they want. The other thing you can do is just slow crawl it. Just slow drag it until it binds up on something a little bit, and then go pop to get it up off the bottom. Come up, go over that rock, glide back down. The movement is that of a crawdad scurrying away or startled. I don't know if that's really what the fish think this looks like. The heavy poop with those claws might be a little more, and overall the general shape is pretty similar. The detail in that fish arrow heavy poop is just a little bit more crawdad like. And honestly, I don't really care what they think it looks like as long as it works. Okay, so that's the bank angler. And you can throw it on flats and drag it around. I just think there's better baits for that where you can cover the water faster. Carolina rig, and you can throw this on a Carolina rig. Let the weight disturb the dirt, create clouds. That tends to draw fish's attention, and maybe they'll come over and check this out. That's not where I fish it, but anyway, that's fine. The boat angler, I'm fishing it in a couple of places. One is rock piles. Rock piles tend to collect tackle, right? For lack of a better term, they collect tackle. Jigs snag up, Texas rigs snag up, even a wacky rig Senko, the hook will grab rocks. This bait, again, just like fishing it uphill from the bank, tends to come through that stuff and pop out really, really easy. I can think of a couple places on Clear Lake, Shag Rock, Henderson Point, which are just bait eating areas where this is very effective. And actually, one of the first videos put out by Deps, that's where they were fishing it. So that's one place. The other thing, and this is kind of what I figured out last year, this bait, flipping it or pitching it into tulies, cattail, reeds, wood, brush, whatever you might fish that is hard cover, can be very, very effective. And when it goes in, and it sinks fairly quick, and it tends to spiral. And it's not a bait that you're going to say, I'm going to throw it next to that piling and it's going to fall straight down. That's not how this works. It tends to glide. If you can figure out how to make it glide in a certain direction, more power to you. You can make it end up where you want it. But what I found last year was they eat this thing, flipping and pitching it into cover like they've never seen a bait before. It was crazy. I fished other baits that I'm very comfortable with flipping, and you would swear there wasn't a fish around. For some reason, I think I had this on a rod, and so I just started flipping it in there, and it was every cast. So very effective, weightless, and like I said, it sinks fast, especially if you're flipping, pitching 3, 4, 5, 6 foot. This is getting to the bottom fast. So like at least as fast as 3/16 to quarter ounce, like beaver style bait with kickers. And they ate it so good. And that pattern hang around for 6 days. And then I had to come home. The tournament was over. But so 3 days of practice, 3 days of tournament pressure, and I watched other boats go through this area and not catch nothing. But they ate the poop baits like nobody's business. So that's my update, if you will. I did an introduction to these about a year ago. I've had a lot more time to fish them. I do believe these are situational baits, as I call them. It's not something I'd lock in my hand and fish all day unless I was flipping, had that kind of terrain and bite to continue throwing it. But I throw it when I come upon the right stuff. Okay, it's another tool in your arsenal of being a little bit different than maybe everybody else is, with a very effective bait. Now colors, I keep it pretty simple, as I've said in my other videos. I like this one. This is, like I said, it says black, blue, green pumpkin laminate. Okay. The other one I like is green pumpkin with blue flake. And that's made in the heavy poop as well as the cover scat. And then the plain green pumpkin. Now, like I said, I haven't fished the heavy poop quite as much. It's really a soft material, but feels fairly sturdy. I'd like to cut that slit there and try these just to see if they're any different. The body area here where the hook is at is maybe, it's a little bit smaller, not quite as big, so you might get a little bit better bite on your hook. That said, I don't know if you can see the slit on the bottom, not very far. Like it's literally 1/8 of an inch deep. Whereas the cover scat is closer to a 1/2 inch deep. It goes in a lot farther. And there's no nub to put the hook point in the top of this. It looks like there's a place there for it where it's smooth, but there's nothing protruding or sticking up. And I'm not really sure if that's just a pour mistake, from the pour, or I just don't think they have the same thing, which is fine. Most baits don't have that. But it's kind of a neat feature. It does tear up after a few fish. I throw the bait until it won't stay up on the hook anymore. In a tournament situation, maybe I'll throw it a little bit more, or less, excuse me. Maybe I'll change it a little sooner. Anyway, great bait. Again, to me, it's a situational bait. I'm going to pick it up for rock piles. I'm going to pick it up when I got hard cover I want to throw something into to be different because they're highly pressured areas. Instead of a jig or a Texas rig brush hog, creature bait, or a beaver style bait. As far as rods go, I like, if I'm fishing a rock pile, it's going to be a 7'2" to 7'4" medium heavy with 15 to 20 pound test, fluorocarbon. And when I'm flipping, it's 20 pound fluorocarbon. The flipping rig, I will typically throw a Daiwa Tatula Elite. This is a rod I have 6 of. I love these. It's and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Okay, Tatula Elite 7'6". It's the Ish Monroe AGS rod. I think they're, I don't know, $269, something like that. I think they might be on sale right now because I think they made some changes for the new models coming out. So I think they might be selling the old ones at a sale price. But the reason I like that is it is a flipping stick, but it's more of a parabolic bend flipping stick. It's not a broomstick. I'll use it for light punching, like 3/4 of an ounce or less. Anything bigger than that, I go to a different rod. But it works really good for flipping these baits. You do want to lay the wood to them when they eat this in that stuff, because the way it falls and gliding around, it can go around wood, it can go around the tules. So you might have a little bit of slack in there because your line went around and through something. So you need to hit them hard. I found out the hard way. The first couple fish I got, I didn't hit that hard. I thought they would be pretty easy to hook, and they came up and spit it out. So don't be shy setting the hook with these. Use the proper rod, something parabolic. You can use a 7'4", 7'6". I don't like to go any heavier than that. I have a Powell 764 that I tried with at first, which I really like, and it says light flipping. It wasn't quite enough for what I wanted to do with this, and it wasn't giving me the hook setting power that I needed. Too much rod bend and just not capable with that short line to move enough line every time. So that's what I got. Pick yourself up some depths cover scats, or if the fish arrow heavy poop is carried where you're at, try that out. Let me know what you think. Okay, I need to spend some time with that one, see if it's any different. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Fish on.